Hi, this is Bob Seitz and Full of Years. I'm coming to you today with a vexing subject on my mind that's been around in my head for years, but made more obvious to me in the past few weeks as I've seen the work of an author named Elizabeth White, who wrote a book, 55, Unemployed and Faking Normal. And the subject is quite simple, and I address this to you folks who are congregational leaders, or perhaps those of you whose parents or loved ones are in this category. 55, unemployed and faking normal, is another way of saying old or getting older and not able to afford or to live the way you'd hope to. A lack of resources, diminished income, resources, assets that aren't available, whatever causes it, unemployment obviously, whatever causes it, there seems to be a growing phenomenon in our society, which, as I understand it, among folks who are the boomer generation, is going to only increase, in which folks who do not have savings or who have found themselves unemployed for more than 6 months are at the edge financially of extreme poverty. They may be living in their cars. They may not be able to pay their bills. They may not be able to live in any way that appears normal, and yet they fake it. Why do we bring that up to those of you who are church leaders? For a simple reason. Those folks live in our churches as well. And perhaps in some ways, they are more ashamed to admit that they can't contribute financially to a congregation, or that they can't fulfill a pledge, or that they feel embarrassed even to come to church because they don't feel they're contributing. There may be people in our congregations right now who are old, who are full of years in the sense that they're capable and they love their lives, but whose financial position makes them ashamed or otherwise incapable of living what they would hope to be normal lives. And yet they continue to lead us to believe that they are leading normal lives. Who are these people? I don't know. I know that they exist in our congregations. I know that when it comes time to make a pledge, they have a hard time doing it. I know that when they come among us and talk and relate to us, they are like us, perhaps ashamed to admit that things aren't like they seem to be, faking normal. So what do we do about that in our congregations? I don't know. The author Elizabeth White, who wrote this book, has some solutions, and she has some observations that might be worth your checking out. But I do know that one of the things we have to do is to be honest about this, to not pretend, to not presume that everybody is well off and enjoying the life of retirement or near retirement with great pleasure, traveling places and buying what they want and doing what they want. If that's not going to be true for an increasing number of the people in our congregations, what do we owe them? What do we owe ourselves? What do we owe God that leads us past the faking part of it, past the shame part of it, to honest, loving, caring, and courageous conversations with folks who are old and poor? I don't have the answers. The questions are difficult to deal with. But I encourage you to consider this might be part of your ministry among older folks, and in ways that are caring and honest and loving, that you and we can deal together with the phenomenon of being old and poor. God keep you in this work. Being old, being poor, it's still a part of being with God.